Got a Goodman 2.5 ton 13 SEER 410A heat pump. It's a 14 model, so a couple years old. Pad looks a little crappy. I just pumped it down. I came out the weekend, Memorial Day weekend. I came out, said it was freezing up, so I came out to check it. And what I found was the landlord said that the unit had been replaced a couple years ago, which I said, great, it's a 2014. However, when I came into the garage here, I found a 08 Payne air handler, which is refrigerant R22 with a design pressure of 300 psi and a R22 expansion valve. So you couldn't get enough gas in it to get the pressure up to keep it from freezing. So today we're going to try and fix that. Okay, got the coil cut out, lay it outside here so it can finish melting out here. This air handler has flex going into it two directions, so it's not going to be too bad. I'll be able to twist it around and get to it good. So I'm going to get it unwired and the duct cut loose and get it out of here. I was cutting the insulation loose so I can get started trying to find the screws for this takeoff. And do you see any holes? One thing about it, it makes it easy for the people coming back the next time. This is the first air handler I've ever taken out using a razor knife only. Sweet. Well, I went ahead and took a few moments and a couple of screws to screw everything back down because I'm old school. I'll get this top taped up and be ready to start wiring and plumbing. Okay, I just wanted to show that the nitrogen was hooked up out here. Got my little regulator set on braze. I had someone that either didn't know any better or was just a troll on one of my videos. Probably 8 or 9 month old video, made a comment, said, I don't see how you so-called installers can install or can braze without flowing nitrogen. And the thumbnail on the video was actually of YouTube actually picked it, but it was me getting ready to make my first joint, and you can see the nitrogen hose and the nitrogen bottle and everything in the thumbnail pic. So I'm not sure what he wanted, but we definitely flow nitrogen anytime we're brazing. Okay, I'm getting ready to make the connections up in here. This is a 7/8 air handler, 3/4 inch line set. I bent me a sweep using the Hillmore tools and swedged this up to make a socket and swedged the 3/4 up to fit in the socket. So I've got nitrogen flowing through this line. It's coming out where the piston goes right now. So we're all good there. The thermostat, I move the Goodman wires inside when I make the connection. I just like it better. Got my high voltage wired up and color coded. Coil setting back in. This unit came with a 65 piston, which is also what was hanging on the unit out back in the bag that had been there for the last 2 years. And our ice is melting, but first time I've ever got an air handler installed, and the less time it took for the ice to melt off the old one. Got the big one sweated up. Got my 65 piston in and my little Teflon seal. I went out and moved the nitrogen over to the liquid line, flowed nitrogen through it while I made this connection. See if we can hear it. So that's how much is flowing through it when you're just, Goodman's got the orifice size stamped on the nut. So at any rate, I'm going to attach this, pressure test, and that hose will be pulling a vacuum soon. The pressure test tail just started a vacuum. Did what I could, but I took the old styrofoam pad out. I had this little plastic pad I had taken out somewhere. I brought it with me. They're a lot stronger than the cement coated styrofoam things, so I just leveled it up the best I can. I didn't want to cut it loose. I mean, just doing what I can to make it work. I'll clean up this Rubatex. I may cut that piece off and split another piece and put on it. I got some in the truck. But anyway, I'm going to let this vacuum run for a while. go inside and hook the drain line up. I think that's really all I lack on the inside. Maybe I can test static while I'm waiting and see what we got, but hopefully this thing will be up and running soon. When I started up the fan to do my static test, I only had a 0.3 static. I thought, man, that's great. But then I looked and it was on the low speed. So I kicked it up to high speed. And I've got a 0.55, which on the chart here would be halfway between 990 and 910, so 950. So I've got 950 CFM on a 2.5 ton. I'm going to leave it right there. We're all back together out here. Got a circuit breaker now, so that disconnect on top. One thing I'm waiting on is the vacuum. Still got a frozen up coil, so I'm going to throw it in the truck here, pick up some stuff, and hopefully by then our vacuum will be down and we can turn it loose. I've had the vacuum pump off for about 10 minutes. It's on 260. Stuck a new piece of Rubatex on. Ain't much you can do with it when it looks like that, but it's better than it was. I'm going to turn the gas loose. First I'll start the vacuum pump back up and let it run a minute while I take my vacuum gauge off, and then I will turn it loose and see how the charge is. Got my manifold out here. I bet I will have too much refrigerant in this thing. I'm certain that's the only way they could keep it from freezing is lay it to it. So we'll get the gauges on it here and see what we got. Okay, had to pull just a little bit out, but she's looking good now. Hopefully it'll work a lot better with matched components. Thanks for watching.